This is our moment.
I'm your host, Cory Phillips.
Time to be great than today.
Offtop podcast.
It's a play. Bryant for the lead. Yes!
Time. What's up? What's up, everybody? Coming in live and hot. What's going on, everybody? This is Cory Phillips, your host. It's the Offtop podcast. Episode, what episode is it, guys?
17?
17? I think it's 17.
17.
Welcome to the Offtop podcast. I'm your host, Cory Phillips. Please like, subscribe, share the page. We're going to be on all major platforms. Got a lot to get into. It's going to be a busy, rapid-fire episode because there's so much to talk about. But as we were coming on air, we were talking about going live. I went to the Kraken game the other night. And I'm going to start doing some live feed, Facebook Live from these locations that I'm at. I'll be going to some Blazers games here in the next month or so. I'm going to try to get to some more Kraken games before the end of the season. Mariners coming up. Hopefully, it looks like baseball is coming close to an agreement on some stuff. The talks have been ramped up a little bit. So hopefully it won't be an extended lockout, but hopefully by spring training, everybody's in there ready to go. But a lot to get into. We got championship week. It is my favorite Sunday of the year besides the Super Bowl. It is Championship Sunday. We're going to find out this Sunday who will be playing in Super Bowl 56 in 2 weeks from Sunday. All-star selections. The starters have been named for the East and Western Conference of the NBA. We're going to get into that. Some coaching hires, some coaching moves that didn't happen. One surprise coaching move that did not happen. We'll talk about that. Get into that. But the amount of Mariners games that I've gone to, last year I didn't really go to a lot of Mariners games. I went to maybe 8 or 9. And I usually I take my kids, we'll go there. I'll get bleacher seats for the left field bleachers. This is my favorite spot at T-Mobile Park. And they range from like $12 to $16 to $18, depending on who they're playing. Because they have premium seats. So like if the Mariners are playing the New York Yankees or the Boston Red Sox, and then whoever was the previous World Series winner, the Astros is a premium seat. They hike the prices up. So, and then some of the games that some of the not so good teams like the Texas Rangers or somebody like that, the Baltimore Orioles, prices go down. But those are usually my favorite seats. Last year, and Zach can contest to this, we went to a game, me, you, and Kel.
We did.
I mean, how much did we spend on those tickets? It was like $35, $40 a piece?
Like $40, something like that.
And that was down the third base line.
Those are great seats.
And they were great seats. I did a lot of those games last year. Third base line, Terrence Club, spending $40, $60, $80
food and drinks.
plus food and drinks. It can be pricey when you go to a Mariners game, but hey, I have fun.
We had a great time.
They had a great time. So
We gotta do a BBE game.
We'll go live when I'll be going to a lot of Mariners games this year if the season starts on time.
Recording at a game?
Or, yeah, we can go live, recording at a game.
Oh, shit.
That's a good idea.
Full vlog?
Yeah.
Oh.
We'll talk about that soon to come, ladies and gentlemen.
If they want it, say it in the comments.
Yeah, I mean...
Comment below.
Give me some ideas of what you think we should do at some of these sporting events. Like I said, I'll be going to some Blazers games, too. I'll take the drive down to Portland for some Blazers games. But in any event, I will be in LA coming soon. We'll talk about that later on. But let's get into some NFL stuff here, man. We got 2 coaching hires this morning as I'm on the way to work. The first one comes down, which, to be honest with you, didn't really shock me. But the storyline that's leading up to this hire, as you know, Nathaniel Hackett got the job with the Denver Broncos today. He was the OC, offensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers. So, from what sources were telling me, yeah, he's happy. They got their man. So the story that's come about this is that Hackett was on the way to Jacksonville for an interview. And it was rumored that Jacksonville was going to offer him the job. So I don't know if he played the leverage with the Broncos because from what sources are telling, what other people are saying, rumors are having that. We don't know the official story, but he probably used his hand as leverage like, hey, I'm getting on a plane to Jacksonville to go interview with them. Unless you guys can cut me a deal or something like that. The Broncos made a deal before he even stepped on the plane. So now he's the head coach of the Denver Broncos. So then the obvious question comes to mind is Aaron Rodgers leaving? Is he staying?
I hope so. I hope.
Devontae Adams is a free agent. Because here's the thing. It all comes down to a salary cap issues with the Packers. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is getting paid close to $40 million a season. He's going to want his money. Devontae Adams is probably going to want top wide receiver money. I believe Michael Thomas is the highest paid wide receiver in the league right now. Michael Thomas didn't even play a game last year due to injury. So, do I think Devontae Adams is... I mean, the numbers don't lie. And he's Aaron Rodgers' favorite target. So, he's going to garner some money. So, obviously, the Broncos are going to have to make some moves. There's going to be some picks involved because I believe Aaron Rodgers still has 1 year left on his contract. So, this is going to be a trade. It's going to be a sign and trade, basically. Maybe a couple first round picks, throwing a couple players. I'm on the mindset that if you're going to trade for Aaron Rodgers, he's going to garner at least 2 first round picks for sure. And then you might want to throw in who they got at quarterback. I mean, is Teddy Bridgewater still rostered?
Yeah, he's still under contract.
So he's still under
contract.
So you already got Jordan Love. So I don't know if you would throw in Teddy Bridgewater in that.
Maybe throw in like a Jerry Jeudy.
I can see Drew Lock and Jerry Jeudy and 2 first round picks for Aaron Rodgers. That I would. Would I do that? It's a lot.
Is it worth it if they can sign Devontae
I
Adams,
think
though?
it'd be worth it because if they can sign Devontae Adams, man, I mean, you got to get the running game in order.
They got a good running back though.
You need a solid running back. You need somebody who's going to be consistently healthy. Yeah. So the defense is solid. It's not bad, and you're going into. I mean, it's going to be good news for the NFC. The AFC, that spells trouble because then you throw Aaron Rodgers right in the mix of that AFC West with Patrick Mahomes, Derek Carr, and Justin Herbert. That is insane. Along with Joe Burrow and Josh Allen in the AFC.
True.
Man, it's stacked. I almost get the feeling, based on what he said, that Aaron Rodgers is already out the door. He's got 1 foot out the door already. So, we'll see how this pans out. But that's a good signing for the Broncos because they need somebody a little bit more offensive-minded. And, I mean, Hackett is Hackett that good, or is he a product of the talent that he had on the team? That's going to be a very good question. We'll have to see down the road. If the trade happens, we'll see. But it's very intriguing, man. This storyline is going to go on through the Super Bowl, all through the offseason, the draft, all the way up till preseason. So that's going to be another story to keep your eye on. And then you have the Cowboys.
The good old Cowboys.
The good old Cowboys. They seem to just fester in the news. They just seem to just linger there. I mean, they've been out for over a week, and they're just still in the news. Now, Mike McCarthy was told that he is coming back as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Good.
And that's all fine and dandy, but there is one name in the next year I think is going to take over that job if nothing changes with that team. And there's one person that's going to take over that job. It's Sean Payton.
I'd be okay with that.
I am.
Wow.
It's just everything's paving the way. Let me give you a hypothetical. If the Cowboys, and similar to what just happened this year, which in all likelihood they're either going to make the playoffs and be a first round exit, or they don't make it at all, then Mike McCarthy's out the door. Sean Payton's taking a year off. He's probably going to go into broadcasting for a year. He's trying to do the Tony Romo thing. And then he's gonna have he's had a year. He'll have a year sabbatical, and then Jerry Jones, because Jerry Jones and Sean Payton are kind of tight.
Former offensive coordinator.
Yeah. So he's got ties with the Cowboys, and with his offensive mind, I think he might be the right fit. But I mean, at the same time, I almost think that there's a black cat running around that franchise.
Did they offer him the GM job with the head coaching spot?
I wouldn't. I think he just should focus on He shouldn't working on. I mean, he shouldn't focus on personnel. He should just focus on what teams he got and call him plays, and make sure they're winning games. But Sean Payton is going to be a name you watch. Mark my words, is going to be a name that's going to be interesting for them. And then Dan Quinn is staying as DC, the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys. And Dan Quinn was up for a lot of jobs. He was apparently because the Bears got their man today. Or no, the Bears got their man today. We'll talk about that in a second. But Dan Quinn was like at the top of the list for the Bears.
Broncos interviewed him too.
The Broncos interviewed him. Jacksonville interviewed him, which now I think Jacksonville, they're going to get, what's his face out of Tampa? Byron Leftwich. I think it's almost certainty now that he's going to get that head coaching job in Jacksonville. But Dan Quinn returning as the Cowboys defensive coordinator. Cowboys did have like the top 5 defense in the league. They have Pro Bowlers all on that defense. A lot of Pro Bowlers on the defense. So him staying says something that they think they can build off of what they had from this past year. I don't think the defense was the problem last year. It was the offense. But we'll see if Kellen Moore stays or if he goes. Because Kellen Moore is still up for some jobs out there. So we'll see what happens there. And then the Colts the Bears got Indianapolis Colts defensive coordinator Matt, is it Herb Ferberus? Whatever his last name is. I can't pronounce it. But he just got the head coaching job for the Chicago Bears. So here's the thing with the Chicago Bears. They always get these defensive coordinators to be head coaches. And they need somebody with an offensive mind to help Justin Fields and the rest of the offense. They got talent on there. David Montgomery, he is a baller. He can play. Justin Fields, he needs to write. They need an offensive mind in there, like a Kellen Moore would be a really good fit. I'm under the impression, I thought the Bears were going to really try to sink their teeth into getting Doug Peterson, but it never happened. I don't even think he got an interview, but it was an interesting move by the Chicago Bears, but we'll see how that pans out. And then that leads me into Championship Sunday. We got 2 amazing championship games lined up for this Sunday. If anybody had watched the games last weekend, what a fantastic weekend to be watching football. I mean, the divisional round, blew away in the wild card round in all shapes and in every way, shape, or form. And you ended the weekend with Buffalo and KC. That was a hell of a game.
So crazy.
It's probably one of the craziest games I've ever watched. It almost reminded me of, was it not last year but the year before, where the LA Rams and the Kansas City Chiefs were playing on Monday Night Football, and they were lighting it up. They both scored like 35, 40 points. Similar to that, except for the drama at the end with Patrick Mahomes, 13 seconds on the clock, tying the ball game, or setting your field goal kicker up to tie the ball game, and you win the coin toss in overtime, and Josh Allen doesn't even step on the field in overtime, except for to shake hands, because they're going to the locker room, they're going home. Now, a couple plays that I mean, there was one play. You have them at third down, and you have them pinned down, and instead of going to a prevent defense, this was the drive. This was like play 3, and there was like 8 seconds on the clock, and they're in Kansas City territory. I think they're on their own 40-yard line, and they play prevent 0, man-to-man, fresh on them. You cannot leave Tyreek Hill open like that. You cannot press him like that. You're supposed to be playing back, a defensive prevent defense on all cylinders. I mean, you can have 6 or 7 DBs back there, but you should not be playing on a man-to-man and no safety help over the top. It was ridiculous. Leslie Frazier should be ashamed of himself because you cost them. I mean, this was the second loss to them in the playoffs in the past 2 years. But you've had the number 1 defense basically all year, and then you pull that stunt. Man, I was like, I almost felt sorry for Bills fans, because, I mean, literally a minute before that, Gabriel caught his 4th touchdown pass of the game, and you guys took the lead. And then all of a sudden, 13 seconds, you can't stop them. The squib kick, no squib kick. Didn't make no sense. I mean, if you would have squib kicked it, you could at least had a 2 or 3 second runoff. There's so many things that were wrong with, like, I mean, and Leslie Frazier, I don't know how he still has a job, to be honest with you. He's lucky that they had a really good defense, but that has got to be devastating and disappointing to the Bills fans, especially Josh Allen, because they played their asses off this year. Besides that game, the Rams game, they almost blew that. But go Rams. 1 win away from the Super Bowl. But
Barely.
listen, they were up big. You don't have to explain it to me. 4 turnovers? I mean, Cam Akers, come on, bro. You fumbled the ball twice. That's concerning. And might I add that Jalen Ramsey, dare I say, he was playing kind of soft in this game. He was getting torched a little bit. There was the one big play to Mike Evans where I think Jalen Ramsey kind of tripped over his own feet a little bit, and it slowed him down, and he caught like a big 45, 50-yard play, and that cut it within 3. The turnovers, sloppy football, the penalties and stuff, you let him back in the game. You played him soft in the second half because you thought you had it in hand. I was like, no, that's Tom Brady. You locked him down. You keep the pressure on him. You keep scoring. You let him back in the game. And thank goodness for Cooper Kupp. That's all I got to say. I am buying his jersey. I've already been shopping. I'm getting one custom made. Big size. Cooper Kupp. He's the man. That's a Triple Crown winner right there. That's my guy. Matthew Stafford, I love you. Because you have given me one win away. Jared Goff, who? Oh, everybody was trashing this trade with Jared Goff. I was hearing all sorts of crap. You guys got Matt Stafford. I was like, what do you mean? That's an upgrade. Now we're one win away from the Super Bowl. That being said, I am definitely worried about this game because guess who they're playing? The team they haven't beaten in 3 years, the 49ers.
True.
That defense is lethal. Who are we going to have? The way Jalen Ramsey's been playing these last couple weeks, I mean, Deebo Samuel's physical.
He's eating.
Kittle is lethal. I mean, he is physical. You can't play off those guys. You got to be up on them. I'm like, I don't know anybody in the secondary that's going to be able to match physicality with them. Jalen Ramsey is going to have to play a flawless game. Whoever is he on. If he's going to be on Deebo Samuel or Kittle, I think part of me thinks he's going to be on Kittle because he's going to get targeted a lot. But Deebo Samuel, he's so multifaceted. He can catch out the backfield. He can put him on screenplays. He can be a running back. Or he can beat you down the middle. He can work in the middle of the field. He can work the sideline. He can do it all. And he's physical. Now, he's not 100%, which helps the Rams in that way. The Rams they get their offensive lineman back, and they get a safety back. So the Rams will be at full tilt 100% healthy for the game. And they're a 3.5 point favorite. That game is at 3:30 on Sunday. So, live from LA, hopefully the Rams will get a win, and then they'll be playing at home again for the Super Bowl. So, let's do it. The first game is an interesting one, and I don't know, I mean, not trying to discredit the Cincinnati Bengals because they played well this season, and they're on the verge of doing something that nobody thought they were going to do. But the Chiefs have been playing lights out. I mean, if you watched any bit of that game on last weekend on Sunday, the Chiefs are playing on all cylinders, man. You know, it's funny because I look back and I was looking at blogs and looking at posts and
Episode 2.
yeah, episode 2. Thought the Chiefs were done. You're playing like trash. And I mean, you look at it now, I mean, the Chiefs are playing their best football at the right time. I should have saw this, but I mean, the Chiefs they're champions. They've already won a Super Bowl. They've been to the last 2. So they've played and under this pressure. And part of me thinks that I think the Chiefs are coming. It was an emotional win last Sunday. So that kind of I think that it's going to drain some of them a little bit. The line hasn't moved. It's still at 7. So it's not out of the realm. I mean, that Vegas is kind of thinking they're going to keep it close because obviously you get the 3 points because you're a home team. That's why the Rams 49ers spread is 3.5. It's almost like a pick'em, to be honest with you. Because I bet you if this game was being played in Santa Clara, I bet you the line would be under 3. I bet you it would be like 2 or 1.5. Like the Bills Kansas City game was 1.5. That's a pick 'em right there. They don't. I mean, you just pick and the spread was ridiculously low. So in this game, I think Vegas is thinking it's going to be close. I bet you the line is going to drop before Sunday. I bet you they'll cut it to 5. But I think KC's going to win. And my other prediction, I think the Rams are going to win. And we're going to have a Rams-Chiefs Super Bowl this year. So you heard it here first. I think the Chiefs are going to win. Final score is going to be 37-25 in favor of the Chiefs. So they do cover. And then the Rams-49ers game, I have the Rams winning 21-17. You heard it here first. Mark it down. Comment below if you agree, disagree. Send your comments. Let me know what you think. I'm still sticking with my predictions. You can go to Vegas and place your bets right now. That's what's going to. Moving on. We got the NBA All-Star Game coming up here in a few weeks. The All-Star starters have been named. A little bit of controversy with these rosters, especially on the West side. But I don't know. I'm a little torn. I think let me go through the rosters first, and then you can comment and see what you think on who should have been in, who should have been out. On the West, team captain will be LeBron James. On the East is going to be Kevin Durant. Joining LeBron James as the starters, obviously, Golden State. He's got two representatives. He's got Steph Curry and Andrew Wiggins. And then along with Memphis Grizzlies guard John Morant and the Joker from the Denver Nuggets. So there's your starting five over there. LeBron James, 19th All-Star appearance. That is insane.
18-time starter.
Yeah. On the East, along with Kevin Durant, you got DeMar DeRozan of the Chicago Bulls, Atlanta Hawks guard Trae Young. Then you got center Joel Embiid and Giannis Antetokounmpo from the Milwaukee Bucks. That's your starter five. The reserves will get picked on February 3rd. A couple of, I think one snub is Andrew Wiggins. I don't understand that. Is he having that good of a year? I mean, seriously, like, is he having that good of a year? It threw me back when I saw that for the first time. I was just like, what?
So,
really?
Andrew Wiggins right now is averaging 18 points a game, 4 rebounds, half a block, and 2 assists. Is that all-star starter worthy?
I don't know, man. I mean, part of me thinks Draymond Green should have got on the list.
I mean, he's averaging less points than he was in 2019 with his first year with the Warriors, and he did 19.5.
Well, if you look at the landscape of the West, I mean,
he's not shooting any better than he was. He's shooting worse than in his last 2 years in Golden State.
Well, I think Chris Paul could have been a representative. Yeah. I think Draymond Green should have been a representative. If you look at, there's not really a lot of stars that stand out in the West right now. I mean, every single star that he's been hurt.
Paul George?
Inconsistent. He's been hurt. You see what I'm saying? The pattern is there. People have been hurt this season. Chris Paul, I mean, for as old as he is, he's been pretty consistent.
True.
There's another name that I think he got snubbed or looked over, is Deontay Murray from the San Antonio Spurs. That boy can play.
Dame.
He's been hurt. I mean, AD, he's been hurt. It's just So from a number standpoint, I see where they're going with it. He's been playing well on a team has had the top record or the top 2 record in the league, because it's been 2 teams. It's been Phoenix and it's been Golden State. I mean, Phoenix has the best record in the league. Why is there nobody on Phoenix even represent? I mean, they might get on a reserve, but I mean, there's a couple players on Phoenix I would have put as a starter for sure.
True.
Namely Chris Paul. But I mean, from a number standpoint, I get it. John Morant should. I mean, I would have lost my mind if he wouldn't get on the list. Of course, LeBron James is going on there. I think, because Russell Westbrook hasn't been playing well, he might get on there as a reserve because he's actually shooting better than a lot of these other players, some of these big time players. Zach LaVine, I think, should get on there as a reserve. He's been balling. We'll see who the reserves get picked. It'll be very interesting. But
LaMelo?
Who? LaMelo? On the East, he might.
Lonzo?
No, he's hurt. I mean, everybody's hurt. You know what I mean? So it was very interesting. We'll see what they're going to put the reserves on the 3rd. So we'll see who gets in there. This weekend, we got WrestleMania on Saturday night. I have my sleepers on who I think is going to win not WrestleMania, sorry. Sorry for everybody out there. It's the Royal Rumble this weekend, not WrestleMania. The 30-man over-the-top rope battle royal. I have my prediction on who I think is going to win. We're going to see some surprises from NXT. I think we're going to see Tommaso Ciampa. We're going to see Pete Dunne in the Rumble. I think this is setting up for AJ Styles to win. Period. He's the only big name out of the whole Rumble match. I mean, Johnny Knoxville's in the Rumble, for Christ's sakes. And we probably see Steve-O somewhere in the mix. Because they said they're promoting the Jackass movie as being sponsored by WWE. So we'll see if but Johnny Knoxville will be, I'm sure he'll have his whole fleet of clowns coming with him in the Royal Rumble. But I think AJ Styles is going to win. 2 championship matches. I know Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley will be going off for the first time ever. I'm predicting Brock Lesnar will win. And then you have Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins for the Universal title. I think Seth Rollins is going to win that. I can't wait to watch this match. I'm super excited for that. We got Championship Sunday. Crazy NBA. Let me get on this for a second. The Lakers. Now, I haven't talked much about the Lakers because I've been so focused on football and everything. That being said, I watched the game last night, and they played well. And they basically, the score doesn't reflect it, but they beat the crap out of the Brooklyn Nets last night. Beat them down. Anytime Russell Westbrook is getting open layup shots, and let me tell you something right now, Russell Westbrook, he does not need to be shooting open jumpers. He needs to just take the ball to the hole. That's his strength. Or play defense. These little mid-range jumpers he's trying to shoot, that's not your game. You can't shoot well, even though you're shooting 43%. Get over that. But the Lakers had a big win last night. Tonight, not so much. LeBron James out of the lineup. He was hurt. He had a sore knee. So they put him on the lineup. And then the Lakers get spanked tonight, 105-87 over the 76ers. It was bad. There was only 2 games tonight. Warriors and Timberwolves. The Warriors win 124-115. So I'm concerned right now with I'm very concerned with my Lakers right now. It is not gone well, this experiment with all the old heads on the squad. So far. Now, that being said, Anthony Davis is not really an old head. And he just got back last night, and he's starting to get into the groove, and you can see his effectiveness when he's on the floor. It doesn't have to be just offense. It's the defense. And with those 2 guys, LeBron and AD on the floor, they have to find some kind of lineup that's going to mesh well. Because, to be honest with you, I think it would be better if Russell Westbrook came off the bench. Now, is that going to happen? Probably not. Too many egos. Too much pride. But we're trying to win a championship here. And you have built this team and constructed this team for the sole purpose of winning a title this year. And right now we're 9th in the West. We would have to play in the play-in tournament just to get to the regular playoff tournament. No. This can't be happening. Like I said it in a previous episode. I think we're at a point in a stage with this experiment that, and I can't believe I'm saying this again, but I'm saying this right now. I think it might be in the best interest for the Lakers to start thinking about shopping around Anthony Davis. It's a bold statement, right? Anthony Davis is supposed to be top 5 big man, top 5 players in the league. I'm like, look here. Think about it. Let's look at the timeline for a second. You made a trade for Anthony Davis midseason a few years back. You got him on the squad. You made the playoffs. You didn't win the chip. The next season, you win the chip. During the lockout, during the pandemic, and in the bubble, right? Last year, what happened? Made the playoffs. He got hurt. We got bounced out in the first round. Pissed me off, by the way. And then this year, Anthony Davis is not healthy. Now, I think ownership, Jeannie Buss in particular, Rob Pelinka, who's the GM of the team. I mean, there's been other stars, in particular Magic Johnson, that's been very vocal about the squad, and he's like, something has to change if we're going to even make any type of run to get into the playoffs. Now, we're almost 50 games in. There's only 30-something games left. We can still get in it. We're a game under 500.
Plenty of time.
It's plenty of time, but we cannot play like this shitty. Because we're playing like trash. And something has to change. So maybe a trade deadline move. I wanted Buddy Hield so bad. I don't know why the Lakers didn't make that move. Because Buddy Hield can play defense, and he can shoot. He's a 3-point threat. That's what you need. But in any event, Anthony Davis, he hasn't been healthy. Fully healthy. And I think at this point, LeBron James is getting towards the end of his career. He doesn't have much time left. And Anthony Davis, you can get a king's ransom for him.
King's ransom.
There are some teams that will take him. You give me two. You can give me 2 players and a couple draft picks.
Lillard and Vucevic?
Bro, I would take that in a heartbeat. You can pack up Russell Westbrook too in that trade. I'm down. But Anthony Davis is, I mean, I think at this point, we'll see how this season turns out. But if this season turns out to where it's another first round knockout, I think at the point you need to start reconsidering your options and be like, shake hands, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Anthony, thank you. You got us the chip a couple of years ago. Thank you. We won a championship with you here. But I think it's time to move on. We need to look at our other options and see what other teams are going to be offering for him and make a move and bring some players that are going to complement LeBron James so you can win another chip before he retires. Because LeBron James ain't done.
No.
He's not done at all. And you can bring, might I say, DeMar DeRozan and Lonzo Ball for Anthony Davis in a draft pick?
Bring Lonzo back.
Bring Lonzo, yes. There was a report today, DeMar DeRozan, when he was a free agent, he said he was super close to signing with the Lakers. Can you imagine if we would have had DeMar DeRozan the way he's playing right now? Bro.
Real.
So, I think we'll see how the season plays out, but I think we're at a point right now where it might be time to consider what we can get in return for Anthony Davis. I think he only has a year or 2 left on his contract. No, because we gave him an extension. We gave him an extension. So
He's got 3.
yeah. So what do you guys think? Do you think the Lakers should make a move for Anthony Davis at the end of the year, depending on how the Lakers finish? If they win a championship, then all bets are off. I'm not saying anything. Nothing for me to say. Even if we get to the conference finals, then you know what you can kind of figure out. Okay, where was a missing piece that we can get to get us over the top. You know what I'm saying? But comment, subscribe, share, like the page, comment, let me know what you think. Now, as we get towards the end of the show, there's a couple of items I want to get to. I told you it was going to be quick rapid fire. Book of Boba Fett last night.
Ooh.
Episode 5.
Sheesh.
This was by far the best episode of this series. I've been up and down on this series. I'm not saying it's been bad, but it hasn't been great. It hasn't hit my expectations. Because there was a lot of hype on the show, especially coming off the Mandalorian season 2. I thought the first episode was okay, the second episode was good, the third one was like, eh. Fourth episode was like, okay, it was cool. This last episode, and I'm not going to spoil it for you, you just need to watch because you're seeing, there's some characters you're going to see that you will know very well. And it was amazing. Obviously the best episode by far in this series. So check it out. It's on Disney Plus. Episode 5's up. Let me know what you think. I might do an open spoiler review or something like that later on this week or something to talk about it. Get your comments. Let me know what you thought of episode 5.
Live about it?
We can go live, you know what I mean? It's a live open spoiler, you know, we can just talk about the episode and what I thought about it. So, Book of Boba Fett, we'll do another show later on this week. That was the best episode. Tonight is episode 5 of The Peacemaker. John Cena. This show has been the best show on TV by far this season. It has been excellent. Every single episode has been really good. John Cena, I don't even know. I don't have the words. It's been excellent. Super good. So I'm going to be watching that tonight. And the movie I was thinking about going to see, but it's still on my list, was Jackass Forever. But it doesn't come out till next week. There's another movie that I was looking at, though.
Did you see Kingsman?
No, I didn't go see Kingsman. I heard it wasn't that great.
Really?
Yeah, it hasn't been getting...
It's so disappointing.
I know. I heard it had... I need to go see it for myself. I think I should go see it. But we'll check it out. We'll see what's going on. Other than that, you guys, thank you guys for tuning in. This weekend, like I said, we got championship week. We're going to go through that next week. And we'll start our preview towards Super Bowl 56. We'll get into the Pro Bowl rosters because our Pro Bowl rosters will be filled up. We'll see who's going to be taking over for some of these guys that have made the Pro Bowl roster and who's going to be filling in because obviously the players who are playing in the Super Bowl won't be playing in the Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl will be next Sunday in Vegas. So that's super exciting. I will say this. I have a few complaints about a couple of the rosters, but we'll get into that next week.
Pro Bowl's not in Hawaii?
No, Pro Bowl is in Vegas this year.
Ooh, even better. Oh, that's way better.
That's
man.
way better than Hawaii.
Pro Bowl in Vegas?
For Hawaiians.
Yeah.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Boo-hoo. Pro Bowl's in Vegas.
want that
That's
anyway.
next Sunday, and then obviously the Sunday after that is Super Bowl. Once we find out who's going to be in the Super Bowl, I'll be taking predictions. I'll get into it. Depending on the matchup, I'm going to have to think long and hard because all 4 of these teams are good and they're deserving. But depending on who they're what the matchup is, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be KC versus LA. I mean, that is a hard one for me to pick.
KC versus Cincy.
It can't be KC versus Cincy.
That's the game to watch. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's the game to watch. No, it's not. Okay. What do you guys think? Let's do a poll right now. Comment. What's the game to watch this Sunday? Is it Kansas City versus Cincinnati, or is it LA versus San Francisco? You already know where I'm going. You see the hat. I'm going to
Both are
say.
gonna be good games, but
I'm saying it's San Francisco versus LA. Why they have it as a? Why does they have it in a primetime game?
That's because that's what they want you to.
That's the
think.
moneymaker game.
That's what they
but the
want.
Cincy
you
game
to
is where
believe.
there's gonna be an upset.
Yeah, because if Cincy wins,
You think Cincy's really upsetting Kansas City?
I
Really?
think it's possible. I think it's possible.
Joe Burrow's gonna do it.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Joe Burrow's the
wow. I
wild
was
card of the
not
playoffs.
expecting that.
Joe Burrow's the wild card of the playoffs, man. And in
Wow.
all due fairness, kids got
Well,
clutch genes.
You have it on the. I have it on the record right now.
You
Now,
do.
I'm gonna ask the question to you two before we go off.
Okay.
The quarterback
Ooh.
carousel right now is starting to formulate. Ben Roethlisberger retiring today. Big shout out to Big Roethlisberger, 18 years in the league,
Big
2
shout
Super
out.
Bowls, went to 3 Super Bowls, won 2.
8-time Pro Bowler?
I believe he's an 8-time Pro Bowler. He's Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Big Ben's a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
So Ben, big shout out to you. Congratulations on a hell of a career. You deserve it. You played it to the bitter end. What a way to go out. Does Tom Brady retire?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You say no. You say yeah.
No way.
Okay.
He's got 2 more.
Before we go on, I wanted to talk about this more in length, but I was like, we had so much other stuff to talk about. But here's the thing. Tom Brady, right? The day after the game, the loss to the Rams, he had his interview. It was on Monday. And he was like, so what do you think you're going to do for next season? That's the obvious question that everybody's going to ask, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, Giselle, his wife, she's so fine. Giselle, yeah, big shout out to Giselle. I love you, girl.
If you ever leave Tom.
I'm right here. You already know. But seriously, he's like, this is what he said. He said Giselle sacrificed a lot. And he said that it was, I'm paraphrasing, but he said he sacrificed a lot. The kids sacrificed a lot. And he said, I owe it to my kids and to my wife to talk to them before I make a decision.
Okay.
Now, I have never heard Tom Brady in all these years say something like that until this week.
That's so true. It's just a tease, though.
I know, and he's got his recordings. He's got a studio now for his TV show. He's got the little thing on ESPN Plus. He set himself kind of like the same thing what Braun was doing. He had his studio. He moved to LA when he signed the contract with the Lakers.
True.
I mean, it's starting to seem like he's winding down. Now, Tom Brady still has 1 year left of his contract.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if Byron Leftwich goes away, I think that's going to highly influence him to retire because Tom Brady's going to be like...
You think he's going to go out without...
I think Byron Leftwich is going to...
You think he can?
What?
You think Tom can retire without winning a ring in his last year?
Part of me feels like he's going to play next season and that's it.
I think that's what
I think I think that's personally what I would want him to do.
He gets one more shot.
Get one more shot in and then be done. You'll be 45 in August.
True.
You play your last season. You go out. If you win a Super Bowl, great. But I think it's going to highly depend on, the roster. The roster is going to change for the Tampa Bay Bucks. They can't pay all those guys. There's some decisions you're gonna have to make. It's almost the same way with the Seahawks right now. There's some guys that are gonna have to restructure or they're gonna be getting the boot.
Tampa's in less of a bad spot than Seattle.
Right, I understand Tampa is less of a bad spot than Seattle, but you cannot. You have Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Leonard Fournette, I believe his contract's coming to a
Yeah.
close. You got
Ronald Jones.
you got guys in the defensive end.
Shaq Barrett.
It's
Garrett
decision
Ball.
time. It's decision time. So, does he want to get another offensive coordinator in there if Byron Leftwich takes the head coaching job?
Josh McDaniels.
He's not leaving New England. He's gonna stay his frozen ass up there for the rest of the time until he's done. Or he'll go back to the Denver.
Oh God, we don't worry about it. He can stay in New England.
He can go back to Denver.
No, he can stay in New England. We don't want him.
But seriously, I think Tom Brady. I think what I would like him to do is just do that one last year, but not if it's gonna be like kind of sort of a rebuild or a system change.
Yeah.
Because you did pretty well the last 2 years. You won a Super Bowl the last 2 years
This is very true.
with Byron Leftwich at the OC.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to heavily depend on what Byron Leftwich does because he loves Byron Leftwich. He loves him a lot. But I've never heard him say anything like that until this week, which is starting to heighten my...
Who's more likely to retire, Brady or Rodgers?
This year?
Brady.
Brady. Rodgers is not retiring. He's only 37.
38.
He's going to... 37, whatever. He's going to still play for another... He can play for another 6-7 years.
Oh, man.
But... I mean, the bigger question with Rodgers is where is he going or is he going to stay? I'm thinking he's gone. It's just who's going to play. Where is he going to go? Is he going to San Francisco or Denver? I think he's going to Denver. I'm like 75% sure.
I'm blue and orange jerseys.
Which pisses me off to no end, but I'll be glad he'll be out of the NFC, so that's one less person we have to deal with. If Brady goes too, that's fine. Because all I got to deal with is Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson. That's it.
Oh,
that's
not a
it.
guarantee either.
That's it. And Russell Wilson can leave.
Yeah.
But he's talking about going to Philly or New York.
I could see him go to the Giants.
Maybe New
He
Orleans.
better not go to any of those.
His best fit would to go to
New York.
New Orleans.
New Orleans has been popped up, but New York and Chicago and Philly have popped up a lot. I don't think Philly because you got Jalen Hurts there, unless you're going to do a
New
quarterback
Orleans
swap.
would be his best fit.
Yes, I
You get
agree.
Sean Payton, Michael Thomas.
Sean Payton's gone.
He's gone.
Wait, is that a fit?
It's official.
Oh,
He's
no,
gone.
That's right.
So that's why I think it's less of a possibility. Chicago doesn't make sense unless you're going to trade Justin Fields, who's the future of the franchise. So New York, I would swap it
Right now.
Everybody listen to this. This is a trade I would do with the New York Giants. Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, and picks.
How many firsts?
First and a third.
That's it. For Russ?
For Russ. I would do that in a heartbeat.
That's
Yeah.
a good one.
I mean, for the Giants, that's a great deal.
You unload. If you have to throw Rashard Penny in there, fine. Chris Carson's done. I don't think he's going to be back in the Seahawks uniform next year.
Probably not.
But Bobby Wagner is the key here to all this because Bobby Wagner, he might have to restructure unless he's all about his coin because he's due $20 million.
Russell's due 30.
Yeah. I mean, you're already giving Jamal Adams that stupid ass contract.
25 coming
Yeah,
this way.
don't get me started with Jamal Adams right now, you guys. I'm not gonna get into it because Jamal Adams, that's a whole nother bag of words. But what do you guys think? Do you think Brady's gonna retire, or do you think he's gonna play his last year out? Where do you guys think Aaron Rodgers is gonna land? It's down to two teams. I'm telling you, it's either Denver or San Francisco. But you guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share. I got some ideas. Give me guys any ideas, any feedback on how the show can get better. I'm gonna start going live a lot more often, especially as we get closer to Super Bowl week. Ooh. I'm rubbing in the hands as this season is coming to a close finally. And then next week we'll get into we'll preview and talk about the Super Bowl. We'll talk about the Pro Bowl. by then, we should find out who the reserves are for the All-Star game. We'll get into that and a whole lot more. College basketball is ramping up as we're creeping closer to NCAA tournament time. It's going to be here in a month. So get ready for that. Whole lot more stuff. Rodgers talk, Brady talk. We'll see where some of these coaches land. There's so much stuff going on. Baseball is around the corner. I love this time of year. So you guys, until next time, peace and love.